Hi, can you believe me? I taught nearly my whole professional life as a teacher in a bricks and mortar classroom, and I enjoyed standing in front of a class. Experience convinced me again and again how important the physical presence was. It allowed building a reliable relationship to the students and among students, a precondition for effective learning. Aren't we social animals after all? And now, I'm advocating blended learning with the internet. Let me explain you how it came about. Up to 93, I was teaching on primary and secondary school level in Switzerland, and for nearly 10 years in South America and Southeast Asia. After returning to Switzerland, I moved more and more into in-service training for teachers. During these years, I realized that despite cultural differences, all learners need empathy and understanding. They want to communicate with their teacher and with other learners. Learning often brings about insecurity and therefore a need to socialize. In the 80s, I explored the potential of information technology for teaching and learning. In these days, the benefit of computers for learning was quite disappointing. The computer was, for most of us, not more than a tool for writing, calculating, and collecting data. Learning with computers generally was a very dull drill and practice experience in total isolation. In the 90s, I went fully into in-service training for teachers. A major technological innovation at that time was building networks of computers. All of a sudden, we were able to communicate with others over a local area network or even over the internet. The Open University in the UK offered an online course about distance education. At that time, I could not imagine that learning on the computer would work. Despite my doubts, my curiosity was stronger. I studied online during 3 years and did a master. This was a ground-shaking experience for me. Finally, computer networks allowed collaborative learning. Surprisingly, it was highly efficient and it was fun. Also, the communication features at that time were quite limited. I was able to exchange ideas with my tutor in the UK and with my fellow learners all over the world. What an amazing experience! After finishing my studies in 2000, I started a small consultant company for e-learning. In dozens of projects, I could try out what works and what fails. I quickly found that strict online teaching does not work for everyone. Only highly motivated, self-reliant learners succeeded. Therefore, I experimented with a mixture of online and face-to-face learning. I was not the only one. Blended learning became viral. Among many other projects, I've got the chance in the year 2000 to work with a highly motivated team at the Swiss Banking Institute of the University of Zurich. We transformed the conventional lecture about corporate finance into a blended course format. It took us months of developing, evaluating, and improving the blended learning approach. Finally, we were rewarded with the Medida Prix, an award for the best e-learning projects in German-speaking Europe. Since then, I've been coaching many more e-learning teams. In every context, we have to adapt the proportion of online and face-to-face learning. When training ICT skills to African students coming to Switzerland for an internship, I must limit synchronous communication to a minimum. In teacher training at the PHZ in Lucerne, on the other hand, the online learning phases were modest compared to the live teaching. Depending on the context, the subject, the learner's experience, we have to balance online and face-to-face teaching intelligently. Since 2010, I have the the privilege of collaborating with the Namibian University of Science and Technology, NUST, and other institutions in sub-Saharan Africa. Considering the large classes, the rising quality requirements, and the lack of learning resources, blended learning is a solution for these challenges. Experience has also shown that many lectures are overloaded with teaching and administrative work. This makes innovation and change difficult for them. With the website Blended Learning Course Design, we make all the necessary information available for lecturers who want to transfer an existing course into a blended learning format. They don't have to go through the hassle of completing a full-fledged pedagogical study. If you are new to online learning, I recommend following the learning path from A to Z. Most will probably have already some exposure to e-learning. They can do the need analysis in Chapter O, Advanced Organizer, and decide on a tailor-made learning path. The eager, impatient reader can jump right to the chapter Quick Start at the end. There, the change process is summarized in 10 steps. You can always refer to topics for clarification if needed. I hope even lecturers who would not call themselves IT enthusiasts are motivated to venture into this promising field. You do not have to start a revolution. Small steps of change here and there will eventually result in significant progress. Start small, but start now. I wish you an enjoyable experience and enriching discussions, and most of all, success. Thank you.